Breaking news! A mere 24 hours ago as of writing this, Shigeru Miyamoto hacked into the main Nintendo account on Twitter and sent a link to a Nintendo press release where a live-action Legend of Zelda movie was announced and detailed. I'm here today to inform you of everything we know about it, do a bit of speculating, and go over a few hopes I have. I'll start with what Miyamoto proudly proclaimed to the world on Twitter. Avi Arad is producing this movie. He tweeted, "I have been working on this live-action film for many years now with Avi Arad-san." Real quick, I was talking to Wolfius about this, and I'm not a big anime fan, but he's right, and everyone knows it. Now let's talk about Avi Arad, who has produced many mega-hit films, like Morbius, and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, and Bratz. That one was a real banger, right, guys? No wonder it got a DS release. Okay, jokes aside, a lot of people probably know Avi Arad as the guy who forced Venom into Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire. However, the Zelda movie is co-produced by him and Miyamoto, and knowing how careful Nintendo has been with their IP nowadays, I wouldn't worry too much about Arad trying to interfere with it. That's one initial worry down, in my opinion. Moving on to the director, who was revealed in the main press release, Wes Ball. I'd never heard of this guy, so I looked him up. He has made 4 movies, 3 of which were a trilogy, and the 4th of which isn't even out yet. I was worried, but I looked into him and found a couple good things. First, he doesn't write his own scripts. And how is that a good thing? Well, it means that even if his films are criticized for their writing, the visuals and direction may still be great, and after some research, they are, which is very good to hear. The second thing is that Ball is a VFX artist as well, and this is also very good news. A director that knows how hard visual effects is to work with and the limitations behind it is a good director to have. It could save a movie from the fix-it-and-post attitude that has plagued, say, Marvel movies for the past 3 or so years. So that's a second worry down too. Wes Ball seems like a pretty competent filmmaker who knows exactly what he can do and doesn't stray beyond that. Great! Wait, what do you mean Derek Connolly is the writer? I regret to inform you all that we're doomed. The only film he wrote by himself received entirely negative reviews, and his films are so bad he doesn't even have a picture of himself on Wikipedia. Whew. Okay. Now that I've let out my daily rage build-up, let's talk about why this could actually spell disaster for the movie, genuinely. Firstly, as I alluded to, his movies aren't very well received. He wrote the scripts for all 3 Jurassic World movies. I know the first one was originally well received, but as someone who's seen Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, trust me, Jurassic World is just boring. The next thing is something people have been a little misinformed on. There's news going around that he wrote the Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, when in reality, he only wrote the first draft. Said draft is so different from the final cut that it has its own Wikipedia page, so he can't really be blamed for the final cut. Let me tell you, I'm so happy to report that. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, so if he'd written this, I wouldn't even be making this video. I'd be too disappointed. But yeah, in general, he's not exactly a great writer from what I've seen, which is ultimately the biggest worry for a video game movie in general. Especially one with the weight of The Legend of Zelda. That's all for the cold hard facts of this movie's production, but I'll spend some time speculating and hoping here for a bit. During my research, I learned that Wes Ball always works with a composer named John Paisano. I actually have heard of him, because he has done the incredible soundtracks for Daredevil on Netflix, as well as the 3 Spider-Man games on PlayStation of recent years. You're actually hearing one of his themes from Spider-Man 2 on PS5 right now. Personally, since I love his work so much, I'd be very hyped if he and Wes Ball were allowed to collaborate again on this movie. I also think the movie should cast mainly Asian actors. The more I thought about it as I wrote this, the more I realized I just cannot picture Link as a white guy, especially not Tom Holland. The mythology of Zelda is tied much more closely to Asian culture than something like Mario is, so I think it would all come across better if Asian actors are portraying the majority of characters in this movie. Exceptions to this could be Ganondorf for the Great Deku Tree, but that's all I can really think of. Also, just want to shout out this guy's idea of having Miyamoto cameo as the Happy Mask salesman. That would be really nice, I think. Heck, bring in Aonuma as Link's uncle if they adapt A Link to the Past. Why not? As of recording this, the actors' strike in Hollywood just ended, so they're probably going to want to start casting as soon as possible. But that's about all I have to say. This is a shorter video than usual, but I hope you still enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos on Nintendo or on Minecraft's music if you're interested. One last thing, my friend Barbecue weighed in on this movie and said it should be exactly like The Princess Bride. And he's dang right. See you later.